that was weird. I don't know what that little pause in there was, but hey, good morning, welcome. How you doing? So the title of the stream today obviously is in reference to the flurry of all the tax experts that have popped up all over the internet because of one single New York Times article. And I just find it hilarious how everyone knows exactly what's in a certain 10 years of or 20 years of tax forms based on one New York Times article, and they can tell you exactly how that all worked out. And I'm thinking, holy shit, can you imagine what it takes to do taxes for somebody who not only, it's not like the guy has just a single salary, right? The guy has properties everywhere in different states and different municipalities and different countries. The accountants that you would need to do whatever it is that he does. Oh yeah, I'm talking about Donald Trump, by the way. If you didn't know that, I don't know what to say to you. But you know, it's astounding. And also, the other funny thing about this, see, most of us people who maybe have one or two or three streams of income, which is, or one, or, you know, the most people who do their taxes themselves, think about this. Barely can understand it for ourselves, let alone, oh, and also, I'm guessing that most of these people talking are acting as if Donald Trump fills out his own 1040. Right? Think about that. Does anyone on this planet think that Donald Trump does his own taxes? I'm pretty sure he pays a freaking army of accountants to figure this shit out for him. And I'm pretty sure that this army of accountants is probably very highly versed in tax code and makes recommendations and or computations based on the changes that the critters in Congress do each year to the tax code. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Hey, I got a better idea. Let's start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawgKnight. Clowns to the left of me, morons to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Although I'm probably one of the clowns on the right, to be honest. I am far more right than I am in the middle, and I'm not anywhere near the left, and I need to get as far away from them as possible. I just gotta tell you, it's insane. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and it is Tuesday. What's the date? It's the 29th of September, 2020. We're almost in that Halloween month, one of my favorites. I don't know what's going to happen on Halloween. They haven't officially canceled trick-or-treating in my state, and I doubt if... Look, I know my neighborhood. They ain't going to give a fuck if it's canceled. Their kids are going to be around my neighborhood trick-or-treating. It's a big damn deal in my neighborhood. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's tons of kids of the elementary school age, and I don't think the parents are going to just ruin their fucking Halloween. And besides, I know the governor's going to try. Our governor is, well, let's just say he's on that what's a good word for it? Moron tip. But anyway, let's say good morning to everybody before I get into it, because I want to talk about Trump's taxes. Now, before I do that, and before I say good morning, I do need to make this perfectly clear. I am not a tax expert. And so I'm going to rely on people who may know a little bit more about it than me. But wait, let's say good morning. First in the chat today was my friend Richo from Down Under, who gets the bell. And the bell worked. I'm so happy the bell worked. And also, good morning, Maddie, House Geek. Maddie, by the way, if you're not following Maddie on Twitter, follow Maddie on Twitter. She does a little news dump every morning, and it's always interesting. I just started reading it a couple weeks ago. You probably didn't even know that I did that, huh, Maddie? But I do check that out, because Maddie's always so kind to tweet out the show, and I appreciate that. Also, good morning to... Maddie's got two. Oh, you got two up. Maybe. Okay, I see. You got two. I'm in the news chick mode. Might as well be on the right channel too. LOL. Okay, so yeah, you're on the news chick mode. Good. Also, good morning to CNN Sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Good morning to Gunfox 61. I forgot we had this conversation, so it's gonna have to scroll down a little bit. Good morning, Renee Mayette, Fox P2. Wow, I forget that this was okay. Chicago Mike, what's happening? Thank you again too for tweeting out the show. Grillin' Pirate Pete, what's happening? Aaron Meredith. I gotta scroll a lot today. We did a lot of talking. Failure B, good morning. That's a name that's I think you're new to the show. Welcome. Donatello Slapfellow, Cracker Bob, I'm sorry, Cracker Rob. I always do that. It's hard to see. See, I've got Joe Biden eyes, and so sometimes it's hard for me to see everything here. Cracker Bob, good morning. Also, Donatello Slapfellow, Advocatus Diaboli, the Devil's Advocate. I Love Riku. Now, that's a new name, too. I'm glad you are here. Welcome. Good morning, to Tyrai Deos. I'm so nice. I'm so glad to see you back on the regular. I'm glad you're back. Let's see. Purple Pill Perspective, hello. People think, this is Kyle. Good morning. This is Kyle. Good morning, Smarty Bear, Michael Hatfield, Balin Bobby, Attack Alpaca, Jim Beam. I could use one of those right now. MC.
Stop. Hammer time.
Okay, I gotta turn that up. Yes, good morning, MC. Also, and I think that's everyone in the chat. I subscribe. I subscribed to you from Monkey and them. Then a little while ago, and this popped up. I wanted to come and watch. Well, I am so happy you are here, Failure B. It makes my heart twitter. Is that the word? Oh, what's wrong with my... Oh, I don't even have my chat in there. No wonder this is weird. You see me twice on the screen. Let me fix that real quick. God, usually it just fixes itself, but it didn't today. So let's fix the chat. All right. There we go. There we go, and we'll hit that little transition button and scroll this out a little bit. Let's fix this. Holy shnikes. Why didn't anyone say anything? You guys are usually quick to tell me when I make mistakes. Good morning, Atheist Icon, Annal N, and Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
All right. So let's get this, let's get the party started. What's that song? I'm coming out, so we better get the party started. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. Amy in Connecticut, good morning. All right, let's go. Let's go. So, I've been reading all the shit on Twitter. By the way, thank you everyone who, with the well wishes, with the passing of my father. I really appreciate it. If you didn't watch the show yesterday, it kind of explains, how my story came all about. So if you want to watch, if you weren't here yesterday, watch yesterday's stream. It tells you all about it. And also just a reminder that please share this stream. Please hit the like button if you like what we do, and donations and super chats can do the Streamlabs link down below. Every donation and super chat or everything this week is going to a memorial for my father. Kind of an obligation I have as the oldest son in my father's culture, so that's what I plan to do this week. Good morning, Tales of Gore, Tyler F. I'm so glad you guys are here. Cracked, how are you doing? And I think I've got everyone who at least popped up in the chat. So let's get let's get into this tax thing. Now, I am not a tax expert. I'm fully aware I'm not, and in fact, I've had my own issues with the IRS because I am not a tax expert, but I've worked hard to correct the errors of my ways. Not new, just an old friend of Richard. Well, I am glad you're here either way. It makes me feel good. All right. But so when this whole New York Times article came out with the holy crap, lots of people out here, my notifications are blowing up. What is going on? Okay, something there's that. Thank you, Maddie. Okay, thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Cynical Lindsay, Tyler F, Necrosoft, Mahacha, that's a new name, and Bishop, all for retweeting the show out this morning. Okay, back to this. I lost my train of thought. I'm not a tax expert, but there are now apparently though there are at least 200,000 some tax experts on Twitter who know every damn thing about Donald Trump's taxes based on a New York Times article. Now, when I saw, I haven't really even read the article thoroughly. Good morning, Stab and Joe Scarborough. I haven't read the article completely. I've skimmed over it, not because it was just like most people, all you read is the headline and the first couple lines, and the first couple lines is Donald Trump paid only $750 in taxes in 2016 and 2017. And when I saw that, I thought to myself, that doesn't sound right. How exactly could the man named Donald Trump pay exactly $750 in federal income taxes? I think that's what they were talking about. They were talking about taxes, because I guarantee you everything that Trump's connected to, all that stuff, the buildings he owns and all the business and shit, and I guarantee you that the federal government got plenty of money from all things related Donald Trump. Okay? But I'm assuming they mean $750 in income tax. So, like I said, I thought to myself, that doesn't sound right. Because unless Donald Trump only gave himself, because he runs the business, right? He's the owner. He's the big kahuna of his businesses, right? Unless he gave himself the exact same amount of salary, or whatever you call it, cash flow from his businesses, those 2 years exactly, to make it so he only pays $750 in taxes, that's really the only way you could do that, right? Good morning, Katie Discate. How you doing? Hey, Larry. I see you there, too. Good morning. So, I'm thinking, maybe he did that. And I was thinking also, too, so they say 2016, 2017. Then it says there was 10 years out of the last 15 where he paid no taxes at all, which, of course, is stupid, because maybe it's because he didn't take income those years, or he wrote off enough so that he had no income, so you didn't pay it off. But it doesn't mean that he didn't pay taxes. His organization paid probably hundreds of millions of taxes between all the shit that he owns. But he personally didn't pay income tax. Doesn't mean he didn't pay taxes. He paid taxes right out the butthole. Well, that would be that's kind of weird. Why did I say that? Paying taxes out of the butthole. That especially as much as he would have to pay, that'd be quite the irritant. Oh, thank you. First super chat of the day. Oh, damn it, I didn't reset the superstar of the day. Hang on. Well, you are the superstar donor of the day. Even though I have not reset my Streamlabs thing here. There we go. That didn't work. Let's try it again. They are successfully done. Should be cleared. Well, apparently we have a Ukrainian donor. I didn't know I had any Ukrainian listeners. Thank you, Mr. Jerkinoff. Ivan Jerkinoff, 556, who says, don't forget to visit the Clam Shack if you ever make it to Big Beaver. Thank you, Ivan Jerkinoff. Greatly appreciated. And you are the new Superstar Donor of the Day! Even though it doesn't show up so far. I just played it again because I appreciate you, and I enjoyed that woman's shooting style and stance. Anyway, so, back to Mr. Trump's taxes. President Trump, of course. So here's the thing. I was thinking, okay, without even knowing how his taxes probably work, because it's probably just a little complex, I said to myself, could it be that in the years 2016, the year he was running for president, and the year 2017, the year he became president, is it possible, I'm just spitballing here, is it possible that people who have very high net worths can possibly afford to have years where they only pay themselves a small amount of money because they don't need more money, and then they can maximize their tax efficiency, so to speak. Also, the year 2016, I'm pretty sure that our current president of the United States, who was not the president of the United States in 2016, I'm pretty sure he was busy with something that year. I can't really quite think of what. And it was something, he was running for president, right? So I'm thinking, I'm just spitballing here. This is me not being a tax expert. Could it be that because he spent a lot of his own money running for president? I don't know if you could write that off or not. I'm not sure. I don't know the tax laws. Maybe you can. But in any case, does someone who has high net worth, do they have to take money out of their company for personal use each year? Could it be that, he has some liquid assets that, you don't take it out that year? But so when they say he only paid $750 in 2016 and 2017, there's nowhere in that article, and no one's brought it up, of what he actually paid in personal income tax during the entire period that they're looking at. Because if you have a lot of income, but you want to, I'm pretty sure your accounts are telling you, look, you don't need to have money to live because you have plenty of cash assets, right? So you don't need to take money out of your business every year. You can minimize your tax liability. That's what accountants are for. That's their job. Now, I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with what he does. I don't care. You know what? The other thing too, you notice that if you were one of those who did read the article thoroughly, you also notice that there was no mentions of Russians in that article, as in like they need tax liability to, or whatever, liability to the Russians. So anyway, good morning, Ex Bubba Hotep. What's happening? Riku, the New York Times report is a joke. They headline with the 750 joke, but it goes way deeper. At first of all, it proves that there was no Russian collusion, which none of the newspapers report on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hilarious. Hello, RVA Dar. What's up? Good morning. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a tax expert, but I found a blog that I found, it's humorous. Oh, well, I was going to read the headline, the JJ Sefton opener. I'm not going to skip that for now. I found this particular, now it's a blog by a person who lived the life of an accountant for a very long time and now is a accounting consultant. And I found this article to be just really, really interesting, right? And so we're gonna go through this one because I find it hilarious, and he's fairly irreverent too. Good morning to the one who tubes. Good morning, BG Blarg. Wait a minute, that's Mike Savage's line. All right, you get a Blarg too, though. Blarg. So this is no, you idiots. That's not how taxes work. An accountant's guide to why you are a gullible moron. Now, obviously not my audience, but you know what he means. And, oh, good, I just heard Trump's taxes leaked or something. As a former professional accountant, I can't wait to listen to what a bunch of moron woke-splains to me, or a bunch of morons woke-splain to me how taxes work for the next week. Yes, because, you know, there's all, you know, when things happen, you find that there's a whole bunch of tax experts and there's a whole bunch of constitutional experts. By the way, I meant to mention this, and I know Maddie has hers. She mentioned it, but I do have my cup of reparations coffee here, and I would like you to all join me in a sip, whatever you got there. It could be, you know, coffee, orange juice, whiskey, water. But join me. We're gonna do a Scott Adams. What is he calls it? The simultaneous sip. Cups up, good morning, and it is fantastic. By the way, this is a cup that my daughter made for me, and I don't, you know, and it says PDawgKnight on the back. This is so cute that she did that for me. I really appreciate that. I thought about selling those, but I feel it's kind of weird. I don't think anyone wants pictures of coffee cups with my image on the cup, but this is, my daughter is the one who made this. This is my new avatar that I added a couple weeks ago. Anyway, good morning, cheeky bastard. Good morning. Someone else showed up that I didn't. I already said hi to RVA Dar. Okay. Let's read this. This is it's let's just say it's humorous and yet irreverent and yet informative. So there you go. I posted this last night on Facebook regarding the comment about a bunch of morons woke-splaining to me how taxes work. Chauncey Stewart, good morning. I posted this last night on Facebook, and sure enough, this morning, my feed fills up with people who don't know shit about taxes, retweeting the stupid opinions of other morons who also don't know shit about taxes. This is just as annoying as last week when these same idiots all suddenly became constitutional scholars, or the month before when they all were experts on use of force laws and police tactics, or the month before that when they suddenly got their epidemiology degrees from the University of Internet and turned into infectious disease experts. I love how this article starts out. Holy shit, you Dunning-Krugerans are annoying. How, of course, the comments are all about the morality of paying your fair share. Which isn't how any of this works in real life. Just stop it with your vapid hot takes already. You clearly have a childlike grasp of a complex topic, and your words are making America dumber. Yes, Beaker and Leaker, aka Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, he means you, assholes. As a former accountant, please allow me to explain why all of today's newly formed tax experts are fucking morons. I'm not holding any punches on this one. I'm going to read every damn word, and YouTube be damned, they haven't monetized my channel yet anyway. In fact, I can't even get my damn mobile streaming to work. It's supposed to work after 1,000 subs. Let's go, YouTube. Get on it. I need that by Thursday. By the way, programming note, Thursday and Friday, I'll be on the road. So we'll see if I can get the show. Hopefully we'll do the show from the road if I can get a decent, if I get the damn stream to work. Anyway. Okay, so as a former accountant, please allow me to explain why all of today's newly formed tax experts are fucking morons, and we should metaphorically put a brick in a sock and beat them over the head until they all shut the fuck up. I added the Effenheimer in there. I'm going to keep this blog post simple. I'm not going to get into any of the specifics of the leaked Trump taxes. Why? Because one, we don't know how full of shit the New York Times is, and you don't do taxes based on rumors and innuendo. You do taxes based upon financial statements and the company's books. This shit is super complicated, and my happy ass is retired and likes getting paid more money to write books instead of reading through thousands of pages of IRS regulations. First off, so big picture time. First off, morality. Oh, here you might want to read along. Sorry. First off, morality doesn't have jack shit to do with taxation. You pay what you legally owe. Nobody willingly pays the government more than they legally owe. Right, Warren Buffett? Right, Bill Gates? Right, what's his dumbass name who owns... Oh, Jeff Bezos, Amazon dude? This has always been... It is this way since America has had income taxes. There is endless court precedent. You pay what you legally owe. Good morning, not provided. That's it. If you pay less than you legally owe, then the government will fine or imprison you. If you pay more than you legally owe, the government will laugh and laugh because you are an idiot and you deserve to be poor. Every single person who barks about how somebody else should be paying more. Why did that happen? Okay. Everybody who barks about how somebody else should be paying more, they themselves are paying the minimum they can get away with. As you should, as they should. I remember when I was taking my first tax class back in college. This class was all accounting majors by this point. At the beginning of the semester, the professor, who'd had a long career as a tax guy, gave us our imaginary family as our clients and had us all do their taxes. One kid didn't take advantage of all the obvious deductions for his clients. When the professor asked why, the kid said some mushy thing about how he didn't think it was fair to keep that money from the government. Holy shit! The professor ripped the kid a new asshole. How dare you? It is not the government's money. It is your client's money. You owe them your best. It is your sacred duty to save their money. You disgust me, and you should never be a CPA. That class was one of my favorites. Basically, you pay what you owe, no more, and anyone who claims otherwise is full of shit. Let's see. This is John Owich. I would really like your take on them for an honest opinion. I would have to see an actual financial statement as opposed to whatever the New York Times pulled out of its butt. Larry, how dare you show professional standards and integrity? Yeah, there you go. Second, loopholes is a term most often used by people who don't understand accounting or tax law to complain about how somebody else is using the existing laws created by Congress to pay less than what that person thinks is fair. Regular people have heard the bullshit term loopholes tossed around so much that they start to believe that it's some sort of magical easy button that rich guys can just push that makes it so they don't have to pay taxes. I love this article. Nope. They're just tax laws. These loopholes exist because at some point in time, Congress, both Democrat and Republican both, decided that they wanted to promote some type of behavior or discourage some other behavior. So they basically put a reward into law saying that if you do this thing that we like, you'll pay less taxes. Or the opposite. Congress wants to discourage some behavior. So if you do the thing that we don't want, it will cost you more. Both sides have done this forever. State and federal. We want you to drive electric cars. So if you buy an electric car, you get a tax break this year. Yay! We want you to stimulate the economy by buying this kind of machinery faster, so you have to depreciate your assets this other way, or you'll pay more. Boo! You get a discount for paying employees' health insurance. Yay! Oh, wait. Not that kind of a health insurance. Boo! So when some blue checkmark jackass, I'm sorry, I added jackass to that. When some blue checkmark journalist, I was right the first time, Major, who probably dropped out of poli-sci because there was too much math, declares that it is immoral that some rich dude didn't pay his fair share because he used loopholes. Those are basically a bunch of meaningless buzzwords strung together to prey on the feelings of the gullible. Joe Biden is making shit like this up for 40-something years now. Congress meddles in business and your personal lives to try to steer outcomes. And as a result, the tax laws just keep getting bigger and bigger and more complicated and confusing until it is the bloated Leviathan. Did I say Leviathan? It's like Leviathan we have today. How big is the U.S. tax code? Nobody knows. And I'm only partially kidding with that answer because there are thousands of pages of actual laws, and I don't think anybody can actually pin down how many thousands of pages there are supporting documentation of supporting documentation and IRS regulations and findings that translate those broad laws into the nitty-gritty real-world application accountants have to deal with. It is this complexity that makes it hard to figure out what anyone actually owes. The more complicated your affairs, the more of these laws you run into, and the more loopholes you may be able to take advantage of. We've already determined nobody willingly pays more than they owe. The real problem is determining what you actually legally owe. And this is where it gets sticky because the laws are very complex and more complicated. The laws are very complex, and the more complicated your finances, the more likely you are to have confusion over your taxes. Say someone like Donald Trump, for example. Let me give you an example. I can't remember the exact details because this was over 20 years ago, but when I was getting my accounting degree, we learned about this challenge someone did where they got something like 100 different tax preparers ranging from Big Five, back then, firms, medium-sized firms, small firms, individual CPAs, TurboTax, H&R Block, the works, to do the taxes of the same hypothetical family of 5. This family had a small business, some investments, some rental property, so on and so forth, but nothing super complicated. Then they had the 100 different preparers do their taxes, and they got 100 different answers of what they owed that year. And each of those answers could be argued as being correct, and yet each of those answers could also be determined as wrong by an IRS auditor. Sometimes there's confusion about what can or cannot be deducted. Some things are clear, others are questionable. Some things the IRS has clearly stated are good to go. Others you make your best guess and then hope the auditor doesn't disagree. There is an old tax preparer saying, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Which brings us to today with people freaking out about how Trump allegedly didn't pay taxes for 10 out of 15 years, and that's unfair. Hang on a second. That's unfair. Now I lost my place because it was so funny. Oh, assuming that the anonymous tip isn't total bullshit, I think that might be likely. Oh, good morning, hypnagogic monk. How you doing? Nice to see you. Assuming that the anonymous tip isn't total bullshit, and this is the New York Times we're talking about, and they just love to make shit up, and that the information is accurate, which means that whoever leaked it committed a felony. But that's a whole nother different discussion, isn't it? My answer is, so, is it plausible that a billionaire paid no taxes for a period of several years? Yep. Totally. See, all that stuff I wrote above about the complicated tax code and how it is an accountant's sacred duty to take advantage of all the stupid laws Congress has passed to save their clients' money. Pretty much that. It has happened many times before, and it will happen many times again. One thing that's really unfair about our tax system is that it is rigged in favor of the people who have more resources. Government meddling makes it more costly to conduct business. The more complicated the regulatory burden, the more smaller companies can't compete. They make the laws so complicated enough that the only companies that stay in business are the ones who can afford to pay for 20 guys like me, that being the guy the accountant dude here. My last regular accounting job paid extremely well. You wonder why. And nearly everything I did was jump through government mandated hoops, filling out government mandated paperwork, which nobody in the government would probably ever read. That's the other thing. Whatever. Trump has those resources. I bet he's got a room full of accountants, and their leader is probably a grizzled old CPA with an eye patch and a raven who sits on his shoulder. The raven also has an eye patch and an accounting degree. This man has wrestled bears. He's going to take advantage of every tax break in the U.S. code for his client and do so gleefully, knowing that many of those laws were signed by Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. On the other side, you know damn good and well that the IRS sent their most fearsome auditor against him. This man sold his soul to the devil and then fined the devil for failing to list that soul as a depreciable asset. When he shows up to your audit, to audit your company, he appears a flash of He appears in a flash of fire and brimstone as a Finnish death metal band plays his theme song. He is an auditor bereft of mercy, compassion, or pity. And beneath his leathery wings serves a legion of IRS goblins who will crawl into every nook and cranny of the Crump Corporation P&L looking for errors, and if a mouse so much as shit a turd large enough to unbalance that ledger, there will be hell to pay. Now you gotta know why I love this article. It is unfair that rich guys can employ Gandalf-level CPAs and take advantage of more complicated tax laws while regular people use TurboTax. Actually, I use Tax Act. But anyway, yep. But in the meantime, as long as those taxes are there, the rich guys would be utter fools not to take advantage of them. I recall a similar freakout several years ago when it came out that some giant mega corporation, I think it was GE, but I don't remember, didn't pay taxes due to some Obama green energy tax breaks. That's Obama's fault? Wait a minute, GE? Did they? I'm not going to go there. Only that time the freakout was coming from the right, who hate Obama, and the Bernie bros, who hate all business. It's the same kind of thing, though. If the laws are on the books, of course companies and individuals are going to take advantage of those laws. That is why Congress put them there. Good morning, Gamer Valine. How you doing? You going to pop in for the shenanigans during the debate tonight? Yeah, you know, I'm technically on vacation this week, so I'm not working my early morning gigs, so I probably will actually watch the debate. I actually can't wait for this shit show. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Now, It is perfectly okay to get mad at Congress for writing stupid laws and needlessly complicating everything with their endless meddling. But it's stupid to get mad at the people for obeying the laws that are in place. Kamari Turnbolt. If it comes out that Trump broke the law, then it goes back to that soulless abomination from the IRS, which again, I say with all due respect, Mr. Auditor, sir, please don't hurt me, to hook his ebony talons into the Trump corpse meaty flank and pull it down and feast upon the carcass. Why? Yes. During the course of my accounting career, I did go through several audits with various government agencies. Why, do you ask? That said, the IRS auditing the various corporations I worked for was way nicer than being audited by the DCAA. What a fucking nightmare clusterfuck that organization is. I've been through ATF audits, and they were way better than the DCAA. I don't even know what the DCAA is, but whatever. Though, for pure incompetent malfeasance, the SBA still takes the cake. That's how it works. On one side, CPAs and other hellspawn audit demons, and they'll argue and battle and go to court over what is and is not owed to the government. And then the client will pay what is legally owed plus any applicable fines and penalties and not a dime more. Both sides of this titanic eternal struggle are far smarter than anyone at the New York Times. And they will have access to the actual financial data, unlike all the blue checkmark idiots on Twitter who are whinging on today about their feelings. Barf. Your feelings don't mean shit. Same as the rest of us. Trump owes what he owes, and the IRS will determine if that number is accurate or not. And that may be the most epic translation of the bullshit of the day. Or, as I've been calling it, what do I call it? I trademarked the name. What's it called? The TB. Is it in the description? The TB. Oh, the Trump. Now I forgot. I even made that great. The TDBS. Now most of you think it'd be Trump derangement bullshit syndrome, but no, it stands for Trump Daily Bombshell, because there's going to be a daily bombshell from here until the election, and then some. Good morning, Chadwick Dupree. What's happening? Welcome to the show. All right, shall we move on? By the way, we've got 57 people in the show and 22 likes. Hit the like button if you like what we're doing, and if you don't, that's okay. And Duck Dog, if you're here, I know you're here because I know you. Ivan Jerkinoff, I'm pretty sure you're related. You can hit that thumbs down, but most of you be that thumbs up. Yeah, no, I know TDS, but I'm talking about TBDS or TB. Why do I keep forgetting it? The TDBS. TDBS. Yes, it sounds like something you would order at a club. The Trump Daily Bombshell. Because you know how everything's this is a bombshell. This is like the Russian bombshell and the whatever. They've been bombshells forever. All right. Shall we move on? Now, there is one here, though. Now, this is from Ace of Spades. They highlighted the thread. I think this woman made a mistake, though. I think she got this wrong, and a couple people pointed it out later. So if you saw this thread, I'm going to tell you that doesn't have it right, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, just to let you know that this is one of those tax experts, and this is a tax expert supporting the president who also gets it wrong. But I need to show it to you. By the way, there's a general fund court session today. Oh, shit! That's my favorite subject right now. Okay, thank you, MC. Let's see, anything else I'm missing here in the chat? I've been here since the beginning, been lurking. No, I saw you pop up earlier, Chadwick. I knew you were here. I just forgot to say good morning. Also, by the way, all the people who are lurking or listening on the radio or listening at work, hey, I'm glad you're here too. Thanks for listening, and if you're driving, please be careful. Don't. There's nothing really at the screen to look at that, except me. I'm a beautiful man, but God, I'm sounding like a ranting monkey now. Anyway, so this is what somebody who actually got it wrong too on the side that I would normally support. So this person says this thread. So finally, I read the New York Times Trump tax story because I wanted to see what the line was being reported for taxes owed, and I came across this about the $750 in 2016 and 2017. Per the New York Times own story, Trump actually paid the U.S. Treasury $1 million in 2016 and $4.2 million in 2017. And she highlights this part of the article where it says, as he settled in the Oval Office, his tax bill soon returned to form. His potential taxable income in 2016 and 2017 included $24.8 million in profits from sources related to his celebrity status and $56.4 million for the loans he did not repay. The dreaded alternative minimum tax would let his business losses erase only some of this liability. Each time he requested an extension to file his 1040, and each time he made the required payment to the IRS for income taxes he might owe, $1 million in 2016, $4.2 million in 2017. But virtually all of that liability was washed away when he eventually filed, and most of the payments were rolled forward to cover potential taxes in future years. So he didn't get that back. It just, the IRS kept it because he's going to be keep paying it in future years anyway. To cancel out his tax bills, Trump made use of $9.7 million in business investment credits, perfectly legal, at least some of which related to his renovation of the old post office hotel, which qualified for a historic preservation tax break. Remember those things that the Congress write into law? Legal? Although he had made more than enough credits to owe no taxes at all. Listen to that line again. Although he had more than enough credits to owe no taxes at all legally, his accountants appeared to have carved out an allowance for a small tax liability for both 2016 and 2017. When they got to line 56, the one for income taxes due, the amount was the same each year, $750. Now, let's think about that, because I'm not going to talk about what her mistake she made here, but let's think about that. Just think, what am I about to say right now about that sentence? Anyone? I'm going to give myself a second to let you type it in the chat, and then I'm going to tell you what the answer is. Do 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 do. Trump paid more taxes than he had to. He didn't have to pay the $750. He didn't owe $750. What was the line before this? Let me read this again. To cancel out his tax bills, Trump made use of a $9.7 million in business investment credits, at least some of which related to his renovation of the old post office hotel, which qualified for a historic preservation tax break. Although he had more than enough credits to owe no taxes at all, his accountants appear to have carved out an allowance for a small tax liability for both 2016 and 2017. When they got to line 56, the one for income taxes due, the amount was the same each year, $750. So that $700, he paid more than he legally owed. Why? Who knows? Thank you. Chauncey Stewart got it right. He overpaid. In fact, there, you get a bell. Chauncey got it right. They owed him. Rico said that too. Riku. Or I love Riku. Yeah. So it's interesting. Here anyone on the blue checkboard saying, well, he ended up paying more than he actually owed. He could have paid zero those years. Legally. Who writes the tax laws? Donald Trump doesn't write the tax laws. The accountants don't write the tax laws. Now, here's the problem. Here's what she continues on with, though. She says, read that closely. Trump paid, as in transferred to the U.S. Treasury, $1 million in 2016 and $4.2 million in 2017. Note also that most of the government overpayment was rolled forward, not refunded. That 750 figure is an additional 750. Thus, every single story saying he paid $750 is a lie. Now, this is actually a mistake. Yes, he did put in a total of $5.2 million into the Treasury, but that's not what his liability was. He paid actually the $750. Okay, now that $5.2 million, which most people just take as a refund, he's leaving it for future taxes. He's paying ahead on his future taxes. But she goes, it is not simply a lie. It proves that the person making the statement either did not read the story itself by the insanity of Cthulhu, read the sources, or the lack of mental ability to comprehend that the New York Times itself claims Trump paid $1 million in 2016 and $4.2 million in 2017. The claim that Trump paid only $750 in federal taxes in 2016 and 2017 is thus a complete total lie, which is easily disproven by the Times' own stories. She gets it wrong. Yeah, he put it in the Treasury, but it was for future liabilities. Okay, so she gets this wrong. So, but again, this is the difficulty of our tax laws. Now, if you really, really want everyone to pay their fair share, like a lot of these people are saying, in fact, I'm sorry. Remember that line that someone who overpays, the IRS says you're a moron? I'm not going to call Donald Trump a moron, but hey, why pay more than you have to? Fuck, take all your legal deductions and pay nothing. Granted, because you end up paying a lot more taxes on the property tax, everything else. He put millions and millions and millions of dollars in the federal treasury, whether it was in the form of income tax or not. But anyway, I say, and here, you want everyone to pay their fair share? There's only one way to do it. Scrap the entire United States income tax code and start over and make it a flat tax with no deductions for behavior, because all they're doing is social engineering with all this behavior crap. Oh, we want you to do a historic building. Well, we'll give you a huge tax break on this historic building. Hey, guess what? Donald Trump took advantage of that and only paid $750 in taxes in 2016 and 2017. You wrote the damn laws, Congress. If you don't like it, hey, you can fix it with a flat tax. You know what? Why do we get I love as a homeowner that I get a tax break for the interest I pay on my mortgage interest. But that's just some social engineering bullshit. I would rather you know what I'd rather do? I would much rather, no, fair share does not equal wealth tax. Well, that's what they think it does, but that doesn't either. You shouldn't have to pay taxes on something that you've already paid taxes on. Accumulating wealth is usually because you're buying assets. Now, if those assets increase, maybe there should be a tax on that as income if you take it out as income. But until you take it out as income, you should not be penalized on it. But if you had a flat tax at, say, 10%, starting at any money you make that you turn into some sort of like liquid asset past, say, 3 times the poverty level. So it's probably, that'd be around, starting at $37,000, I think that would be 3 times the poverty level, or maybe it's 39, I can't remember. Just have a flat tax for everybody. Everyone pays the same percentage on the income that they can use to live their life. And then you wouldn't have people like Warren Buffett who pay a lower adjusted rate to his secretary that he talks about. Or, now, you know, at first, when he first said that, remember back when Warren Buffett said he paid less taxes than his secretary? And I was thinking to myself, that can't be right. He must just mean that he pays a lower rate when he takes out all his deductions and write-offs and all that shit, that he pays a lower rate. I was like, that has to be what he meant. But now as I'm looking at this Donald Trump tax return thing, he may have actually paid less in income tax than his secretary. He may have paid zero for all I know when he said that. Because when it's income tax, now Warren Buffett is third richest person in the world, multi-billionaire, and he lives in Omaha too. In fact, he lives in a very modest house right near where my nephew lives. Like, he lives in the neighborhood. You can walk by his house. I mean, he just lives in this small little house. He doesn't live extravagantly at all. Drives an old car, eats in diners in Omaha. I mean, it's a pretty cool dude. But anyway, if you're that much of a multi-billionaire, do you really need to take actual income every year? You could go 4 or 5 years without drawing any income out of your assets and not pay any taxes because you have zero income. Because you have enough to live on, you don't need to take out assets. The worst thing you pay may be interest income. And you could donate all of your interest income and have that written off. So you could absolutely pay zero in taxes for many years because you don't take any income out of your assets. That's legal. Okay? And I'm fine with that. I don't care. First of all, it's not my money. I don't give a fuck what you do with it. It's not the government's money. The government didn't earn it. The government didn't earn the assets. Who cares? So he didn't take income for a year, and he paid less taxes than his secretary, who he pays a salary and goes by income tax. Okay, and how much does your net worth make for everybody else? How many people are employed by the fact that you have this $36 billion net worth? How many businesses are functioning because of your $36 billion net worth? How many people are employed by all the businesses that are because of your $36 billion net worth? It's not like you're not paying taxes at all. You're just not paying income tax. But everything you own, you're probably paying taxes on. Property tax. Imagine the property taxes that Donald Trump pays around the world, if the places that have property tax. He should just liquid. What is it? What's a no property tax state? There's some. I mean, it's crazy. Bezos pays himself $80,000. Yeah, I'd like to see Jeff Bezos' income tax bill. What did he pay on his 1040? Somebody leak that at the IRS. You know, the other thing. Now, she did bring up one thing in this thread that is worrisome, though. That is a problem. Not just the fact that whoever leaked these taxes to the New York Times committed a major felony. Here's something that she did bring up that I thought was fascinating, and I have to think about this too. Here she says, also, there's something even more worrisome than that the New York Times appears not to have actually seen what? Okay, she made a poorly constructed sentence here. Also, there's something even more worrisome than that. The New York Times appears not to have seen the actual returns. Read this closely, and you'll see something very disturbing indeed. Oh, this part. The Times... Oh, this is great. Oh, I'm taking up the whole time on this. The Times examined and analyzed the data from thousands of individuals and business tax returns for 2000 through through 2017, along with additional tax information from other years. The trove included years of employee compensation information and records of cash payments between the president and his businesses, as well as information about ongoing federal audits of his taxes. Really? This leaked, first of all? This article also draws upon dozens of interviews and previously unreported material from other sources, both public and confidential. Well, that makes me feel better. Hello, not provided. What's up? Cairo, what's up? John Smith, how's Elizabeth doing? I'm just curious. When did they stop teaching proper grammar and syntax in school? Well, she just forgot a couple commas there. I figured out what she was saying. Now, did you see it, though? I'll just read it from her. The years of employee compensation? So the New York Times was given compensation information for people who are not Donald Trump. Yeah, that right there should make everyone spit fire from their eyes. What the hell right does the New York Times to have employee compensation information? They're just people who are related to Donald Trump. By the way, if you hear noise, I don't know if you can hear it. There's some bang because my roof is being replaced, so we had some major hail damage on our roof. So if you hear the noise, that's what it is. You want to claim Trump is fair game since he's president. Fine, whatever. But what people who worked for him made in the decades when he wasn't a politician is fair now? Riddle me that, and you better spin so hard the earth rotates backwards. So anyway, yeah, the tax bar, she's wrong. But that is, what right do they have to any information about anyone other? Well, they don't have right to Trump's information. First of all, that's a felony. But they are talking about having information about employee compensation from 2000 to 2017. Do they have any right to that whatsoever? Hell to the no. All right, let's move on because I just realized I had the 30-minute warning there. This is just an article from the Federalist, Trump, New York Times tax return bombshell. The Trump Daily Bombshell, Trump Daily Bomb, TDBS. The TDBS, I'm trademarking that phrase, is a joke. There's an article in the Federalist. I'm going to see what direction they go on, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. We need to see an arrest this week, or we need to hit the streets with guns. It's at that point. Oh my God. I hate to say it, you might be right. Anyway, the New York Times published an article Sunday evening analyzing several years of tax returns filed by President Donald Trump. This illegal leak of the president's tax returns revealed nothing we didn't already know about the Trump business hydra. It is complicated, has a lot of expenses that generate tax deductions, and hires very smart tax advisors to make the whole thing work with as low a legally taxed liability as possible. That's their job. If that sounds familiar, it's because the Democrats also tried this line of attack against Trump in the 2016 debates. But because most media will breeze over it, it's important to pause and note the criminal illegality of the story. It is a federal crime for any federal, state, or local employee to release a tax return without the consent of the taxpayer. Ditto for tax lawyers, CPAs, enrolled agents, and other tax professionals. Interestingly, it is also illegal to print or publish tax returns or information from them. Section 7213 of the Internal Revenue Code prescribes that each violation here is a felony punishable by $5,000 and or 5 years in federal prison, plus the cost of prosecution. Federal employees so convicted are to lose their jobs. Now, this is the first time I even heard that. I didn't hear anyone else ever mention that. Not only is it illegal to disclose or disseminate that information, it is illegal. I'm going to read that sentence again. It is illegal to print or publish tax returns or information from them. Section 7213 of the Internal Revenue Code. Let's look that up. Here it is. I'm going to just find... disclosures by... Okay. Any officer employee... Okay, that's for people of the United States, though, of the government. So that's be interesting. There's an interesting... That's a little bit of a First Amendment issue. That's an interesting legal fight. I'm not going to get into the details because though I have the nickname of Lawyer Dog in some circles, I'm not a lawyer. I only play one on the internet. Anyway, Trump enjoys the same protection of federal tax law as any John Q. public has. Someone should go to jail for releasing his tax returns. Speaking as an enrolled agent. Oh, this guy is an enrolled agent, tax preparer type dude. That means if you're an enrolled agent, you are a super accountant, basically, as far as the IRS is concerned. Speaking as an enrolled agent who has prepared taxes as a side hustle for nearly 2 decades, this cavalier attitude towards tax return custody is appalling to me. The president ought to have some conversations today with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and with Attorney General William Barr about prosecuting the New York Times for possible tax felonies. Plus, the story is a flop. It is kind of a flop. I'm just saying. Of course, not just the blue check marks, but the blue people. You know what I mean? Not those blue people. Not the blue people that we try to keep them safe and alive, but the blue side of the aisle, so to speak. It's a flop. I'm sorry. Turning to the particulars of the tax return, there simply isn't much there. There's certainly no smoking gun, nothing on it. It's okay. I'm not even going to read this because we just read it, or at least in the other call. Just those 2 parts that we read of that article. Everything he did was legal. It's the accountant's job to minimize his tax liability. They even told you how he reduced his liability by taking advantage of tax breaks that the federal government wrote into law. Enough said. Good morning, Evan S. How you doing? So I'm gonna skip this. Here, tell you what, I'm gonna put this in the chat if you'd like to read this article. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of the same arguments as the first article I wrote. And if you weren't here for the and if you weren't here for the first article I read, best article ever. I wish that article was in the Washington Times as written too. Every swear word and innuendo and funny catchphrase. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that one in the chat too. That blog post by that account was fantastic. There it is, my friends. Maybe. Oh, it's too many. Oh my God. How? It's way too big of a URL, and I'll put it in tomorrow's, or I'll put it in the description later. The URL for this one is more than I can even put in the chat. So let's just fix that. Well, I'll get that one out there later. It's from a blog called Monster Hunter Nation. Good morning, L Wolf. All right, let's get out. I'm running out of time, so let's get out of tax mode here, and we're gonna just catch up on some articles that I wanted to do today. You know how anytime someone on Twitter talks about how, well, particularly the president. When the president of the United States talks about how the mail-in balloting thing is kind of it's fucked up. And then Twitter puts on a little thing. How about they put a little thing under his tweets about it that says, "Learn here how mail-in voting is safe and secure." Motherfuckers, have you been paying attention at all? So now we all know about Ilhan Omar's issue because Project Veritas is blowing that up, and it's hilarious. There's a video by Dame Pesos that shows you how Twitter keeps suppressing their their trending topics because Project Veritas and Hunter Biden and all these things that are bad for the left, they keep trending and because of their algorithm, and Twitter keeps knocking them off with some stupid shit. It's hilarious. I mean, it shows you how, as they change, how it happens, because he's been watching it very closely. I'll find that video too. But anyway, so yeah, the mail-in ballot thing, so safe and secure, right? Well, Biden's Texas political director implicated in a massive mail-in ballot harvesting scheme in Harris County, Texas. Whoa, what? Say what? Oh my God, is it? Anyway, a Biden campaign operative in Texas is attempting to rig the 2020 election with the help of others in a massive ballot harvesting scheme, according to two private investigators who testified under oath that they have video evidence, documentation, and witnesses to prove it. With the help of mass mail-in ballots, the illegal ballot harvesting operation could harvest 700,000 ballots. Holy shit. I'll put this in the chat too. 700,000 ballots. One Harris County Democratic operative allegedly bragged. He bragged about it. Good morning, Alan Detmering. How you doing? The investigators, a former FBI agent and former police officer, claimed that Biden's Texas political director Dallas Jones and his cohorts have been hoarding mail-in and absentee ballots and ordering operatives to fill them out for people in Harris County illegally, including dead people, homeless people, and nursing home residents in the 2020 presidential election, Patrick Howley of the National File reported. While law enforcement agencies are reportedly investigating these potential crimes, nothing will be done about it until well after the November 3rd election, the former FBI agent said. Dallas Jones was appointed the Biden campaign's Texas political director in late August. Well, isn't that convenient? There's the tweet. I won't talk about that. Mark Aguirre and Charles F. Marler provided sworn affidavits as part of a class action lawsuit in the Texas Supreme Court, Stephen Hotze, MD et al., against Harris County and the state of Texas. National File obtained the private investigator's affidavits. In his testimony, Aguirre stated that he is a retired captain and with the Houston Police Department and is now a private investigator. I am currently involved with an investigation related to wide-related and fraudulent ballot harvesting scheme in Harris County intended to rig the elections in the Houston-Harris County area. This scheme involves voter fraud on a massive scale based on interviews, review of documents, and other information. Aguirre identified 3 individuals, including a state senator, God, these fuckers, and the Harris County Commissioner, who are working with Jones on the ballot harvesting operation. District 13 Texas State Senator Morris Biles, who is the handler of Mr. Jones, political consultant Gerald Womack, the Precinct 1 Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis, Aguirre added. One of the companies these individuals are using as a front for this operation is AB Canvassing, although there are others that have been identified that we are investigating. Like I said, I put the rest of that article in the chat. It's the American Greatness article. Shit's crazy. Shit's crazy. And then you got the Ilhan Omar thing going. All right, let's move on because I got to get caught up on my articles here. This one, apparently, if you talk to refugees from tyranny, agree that the authoritarian threat America is now facing is actually from the left. Oh, really? From the New York Post opinion, left-wing hysterics with major media platforms have been for years shrieking that President Trump is about to install a fascist dictatorship at any minute. Yes, the worst dictator ever. I'm going to say it every time I hear that. If Donald Trump's such a dictator, why do CNN, MSNBC, ABC News, NBC News, CNBC, and CBS, as in C, S-E-E, more BS, bullshit. Why do they all exist still if he's such a dictator? Why would he allow the media to question him at every turn? Why is Jim Acosta and Brian Karem, why are they not in shackles hanging from their toes? I am UW. Later, dog. Good morning, I am UW. I'm glad you were here. I didn't know you were here, but I'm glad you're here. Good morning, Midnight in Exile. You know how PDawg is gay? GQ doesn't put straight men on their cover. I wasn't on the cover. You know who was on the cover of the GQ article that I was in? And on the cover of that issue of GQ? By the way, it was the highest selling GQ issue of all time. Not because of me, of course, because nobody knows who the fuck I am, but they do now. You know who's on the cover of that GQ magazine cover that article about me was in? None other than Mr. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt and Dawg Knight, the highest selling issue of GQ of all time. Woot! Anyway, good morning, Kessler. How you doing? No, it wasn't out Obama. It was not. It was Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt outsold the Obama issues. You can do a little turn on the catwalk. On the catwalk. Yeah, I see you there, Midnight in Exile. All right. Anyway. So left-wing hysterics with major media platforms have for years been shrieking that President Trump's about to install a fascist dictatorship at any minute. Meanwhile, unheard immigrants from the Soviet bloc warn that totalitarian tyranny is actually emerging from the left. Oh, you think? Good morning, check your logic. And Americans are too naive to see it coming. Sounds crazy, right? I thought so when I first heard from an elderly woman who spent 6 years as a political prisoner under Czechoslovakia's Marxist regime. But the more I talked to people like her, the more I came to see them as canaries in the coal mine. Their message is the same. What's happening in America today reminds me of life under communism. It's hard for Americans to see it, in part because our idea of totalitarianism comes from Orwell's 1984 and Solzhenitsyn's The Gulag Archipelago. Sorry, I can't pronounce the author's name, but I can pronounce Archipelago. But Stalinism 2.0 is not what the old dissidents predict. They point out that the left in power is achieving totalitarian goals, not simply obedience, but the internalization of left-wing ideology by much softer means. Who needs the gulag when you can compel obedience by threatening someone's job or destroy their reputation on social media? Why bother with the secret police when the masses already hand over detailed personal information to Google and other woke capitalist behemoths via smartphone and laptops? The coming soft totalitarianism may well unify the government, major corporations, the media, and leading institutions of civil society, which will collaborate to suppress dissent and coerce conformity. The United States could one day have its own version of China's high-tech social credit system. Those who resisted Soviet communism urge us to prepare now for resistance while we can. The shocking truth is, we Americans are living in a pre-totalitarian situation. In 1951, Hannah Arendt published her landmark study, The Origins of Totalitarianism, in which she studied the conditions that led to both Soviet Russia and Nazi Germany to embrace totalitarianism. It makes for a sobering reading in our present circumstances. Among the signs, loneliness and social atomization. Totalitarian movements, said Arendt, are mass organizations of atomized, isolated individuals. Kind of like what COVID's doing to us, right? And what prepares men for totalitarian domination in the non-totalitarian world is the fact that loneliness, loneliness, once a borderline experience, usually suffered in certain marginal social conditions like old age, has become an everyday experience in the ever-growing masses of the century. You know what? I wish I had more time to go through this one, but I want to get to some others. it's a good article. I'll put this in the chat too. It's a good read. It's not that long, but I'm gonna move on. But yeah, I've heard that a lot. That people who are from places that they escape because of the totalitarian or socialist or communist type ideals, those people are the ones that were telling us the most that this shit's getting crazy from the left. Not the right, from the left. That's why a lot of them support this president and the Republicans, because it's... Now, I'm not saying the Republicans are great either. Okay? They have some of their own issues. I really would like someone if someone came to run for president or ran in my district for Congress, I'm waiting for that person to say, we want to spend the next 4 years seeing what laws we can repeal. Not write, repeal. It's time to start house cleaning all these stupid laws that are on the books now. Fix that IRS tax code and make it as simple as possible. You want people to pay, again, I'm going to say it again, you want people to pay their fair share? Have one tax rate that everybody pays once they're beyond self-sustaining. Okay, so I say 3 times the poverty level, 3 times the poverty level. Don't tax any income until before you get to that point, but every penny after that is taxed at the same rate, probably a lower rate of 10%, which would bring in about the same amount of revenue as all this bullshit tax code that we have. And make no deductions, no social engineering through the tax code. People will live their lives. They'll be able to do their taxes on a postcard, or guess what? You don't have to figure out. Your employer will know exactly how much to take out of your check if you're gonna have them do it that way, and you won't get a refund, but you also have more money in your pocket all the time because they don't have to figure out what kind of deductions you might take. Everyone would pay the same rate, and everyone would pay their fair share because everyone's fair share is the same percentage of what they're making. It's the only way to do it. Anyway, let's move on. Let me figure this out. I'm almost out of time here. Let's see. Now these are just the rest of the stories are just kind of odds and ends. This was a weird story I saw from the Hill. Apparently, if you're familiar with Joe Montana, one of the greatest performing quarterbacks in the history of the world, and you don't even have to be a 49ers fan to believe that. He was a fantastic quarterback. Well, apparently he and his wife thwarted an attempted kidnapping of his grandchild. What the fuck? NFL Hall of Famer Joe Montana and his wife, Jennifer Montana, successfully prevented a home intruder from abducting their grandchild Saturday, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The department said that Montana told deputies that an unknown woman entered his Malibu home and attempted to kidnap the child from a playpen. The two confronted her and asked her to give back the child. They first attempted to reason with her, after which Jennifer Montana was able to grab back the child, according to the Associated Press, citing the sheriff's office. Thank you to everyone who's reached out. Scary situation, but thankful that everybody is doing well. We appreciate respect for our privacy at this time, Montana tweeted Saturday. The department said the suspect has been identified as Sodasai Dalzell, something like that. She fled after the incident and has since been arrested on kidnapping and burglary charges. If you're not familiar with Montana, he was twice named NFL's most valuable player by the Associated Press and was quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers for 4 Super Bowl victories. He's got 4 victories under his belt. Retired in 1994, yada, yada, yada. So, wow. That is frightening. That is frightening as hell. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting too. We'll this is with Flynn having another court hearing today, which is interesting. I can't wait to hear about that one. This article from Issues and Insights: was Russia probe the most corrupt U.S. investigation ever?
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think it was. Shut up, Joe. No one asked you. The revelation that the main subsource for the Trump dossier paid for by the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign was a Russian agent who was once designated a national security threat boggles the mind. It means FBI officials, the Obama White House, and the Clinton campaign knowingly and fraudulently conspired to use foreign disinformation and taxpayer funds for the political purpose of destroying Donald Trump. Do I even need to read more? What's up, Thomas Cleaver? How you doing? Declassified documents requested by Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham show the primary subsource for the Trump dossier created by former British spy Christopher Steele was early actively investigated by the FBI. We read that article the other day. The source, an employee at a prominent U.S. think tank, first contacted the Russian embassy and Russian intelligence agents in 2006. In 2009, the subsource offered two different people with close ties to an Obama administration foreign policy advisor money in exchange for classified information. That would be called espionage, people. After the approach made to the Obama administration, the FBI launched a counterintelligence investigation of the subsource that lasted from 2009 to 2011. As Town Hall's Bronson Stocking reports, according to one individual interviewed, the subsource persistently asked about the interviewee's knowledge of a particular military vessel. The FBI noted its investigation would reopen if the subsource ever returned to the United States. But he's the supplier of information for the Steele dossier and for the Russia investigation. How about that? Fast forward to 2016. The Crossfire Hurricane investigation of the Trump campaign's supposed ties to Russia officials is in full swing. In December, FBI officials discover that the subsource of the Trump dossier is in fact the same person the FBI investigated years before. Now I wonder what they could have done with that information. How the hell did that not come out until now? Instead of calling an end to their phony investigation, they hid the information from the FISA court. That's the other thing. They went to a FISA court to get permission to spy on a U.S. citizen when they know that this Russian spy, oh my God. They let them continue to spy on Trump campaign aide Carter Page for, you guessed it, suspicion of being a Russian agent. So that changed email too. Not just the changed email that guy's pled guilty for, but they also know that the source of the information they're using is a former Russian spy that they were investigating. They have records of investigating this asshole in 2009 to 2011. This is amazing. As noted before, by winning FISA court permission to spy on Page, a low-level aide, the investigators were able to spy on anyone he had contact with in the Trump campaign. In effect, that was everyone. To me, a failure of the FBI to inform the court that the primary subsource was suspected of being a Russian agent is a breach of every duty owed by law enforcement to the judicial system, Graham said, calling it the most stunning and damning revelation the committee has ever uncovered. Oh, shit. What the hell happened there? What the hell happened? Oh, that's all my, what the hell? Why do all my windows just miraculously close? That was weird. I have no idea. I was just trying to do, oh, I see what I did. I meant to do this. best summation of the whole corrupt investigation of Trump came from former White House press secretary Ari Fleischer, who tweeted, "Knowing what we know now, it's fair to conclude, 1, Clinton campaign colluded with someone suspected of being a Russian spy." My favorite sentence ever. I'm going to repeat that because I just liked it so much. Clinton campaign colluded with somebody suspected of being a Russian spy. Russian collusion, anybody? Number 2, the mainstream media fell for it and got duped by the Steele dossier. Number 3, the FBI, knowing Steele's subsource was thought to be a Russian spy, conducted an improper investigation. In fact, the Mueller team, how long did the Mueller team investigate this bullshit? And why did this not come out of that investigation? Why did Adam Schiff's little hearings in his fucking Schiff in a skiff meeting rooms, how come this didn't come out? Why isn't this? It's clear that they knew this. They knew who the source was. Oh, they do. You know what? What's the guy's name again? What's his name? Huh? Oh, okay, here. Oh, shit. We investigated this guy in 2009. We thought he might have been a Russian spy. Excuse me. Hey, Joe, run this up to Mueller. Yeah, he needs to know this. Yeah, no, really, Russian spy. Yes. Come on. Yeah, yes, just tell him. What? Say that again. What do you mean he already knows? Why are they... What? No, I know, but I can't. Oh, this is bullshit. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So anyway, lest you think otherwise, these are not mere campaign hijinks or simple errors. They constitute an organized criminal assault on our electoral system, the presidency, and our democratic way of life. It's now clear, if it wasn't before, that criminal indictments are in order. For now, we have some simple questions to ask. Who was the agent of Russia who worked at a prominent U.S. think tank? Yeah, that's great. The name we have is Igor Danchenko, who was born in Ukraine and worked for the Brookings Institution for 5 years in the early 2000s. Was the motive money or ideology? Was the Obama foreign policy advisor whose associates or aides the agent of Russia was interested in then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton? Probably. Or Obama's then National Security Advisor, retired Major General James L. Jones Jr., or somebody else entirely. Yeah, at this point, more to the point, the Durham investigation into the origins of the Trump investigation is still ongoing, even as the election approaches. As such, this just released information was deemed not important enough to keep under wraps, which means it won't be used in any possible charges against said possible wrongdoers. Again, why? The revelation seems pretty big and damning. Do Durham and company have something bigger going on that no one else is aware of? Or will using Russian disinformation to attack a just elected president be considered acceptable in the future? Further, why did the FBI disclose its investigation into the subsource in 2011? These and other questions need to be answered. It's now frighteningly clear that the DNC, Hillary Clinton, Obama administration officials, and elements of the nation's legal and intelligence community, including the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA, colluded to conduct an investigation of a U.S. president in the flimsiest of pretenses. It amounts to an attempted coup, and it's a major crime. And why it's you know what? These all fuckers are just all hiding this. The media doesn't care, and they're all a bunch of assholes. That's my own personal aside. That was not in this article, but that's where I went, people. I'm not going to get to these last two articles, but interesting article in the Financial Times I'm going to put in the chat, how the Biden economic plan is probably exactly the opposite of what we need, but it's designed to. It's a little frightening. I'll put that one in. The other one, just quick. New York judge has ordered a judicial review of the Eric Garner case. That happened last night, and apparently Eric Garner's mother won her bid for an investigation into New York City's handling of the arrest of her son, the disciplining of officers involved in this 2014 death, and a lack of medical care he was given by police officers, a state judge ruled. Now, fascinating in that sentence, the lack of medical care he was given, they tried to revive him, and the ambulance was there pretty quick. But, again, and they still use the article of the officer placing Garner in a chokehold, which is easily disprovable, unless you look at the half a second photo clip that they clipped out of the video, when the officer's arm was around his neck for that half a second. And I've played that before. I might have to do a video on that again, because he was never in a chokehold. That's the thing. When they came to the ground, as they rolled, the officer's arm did go around his neck for about 1 second, and then he immediately released it. And it wasn't until about 3 seconds later that Garner started saying the words, "I can't breathe." Now, the reason he could not breathe is because he was as asthmatic and was having an asthma attack. And I've coached enough kids. I coach basketball on my side gig, and I've coached enough kids to know that when a child has an asthma issue, the first words out of their mouth is, "I can't breathe," and they need their inhaler. Officers had no way of knowing that. Now, it was obviously didn't help that there were officers trying to arrest him while he was having that asthma attack, and that were holding him down by his back, and it made it harder. But it wasn't because he was being choked. If you're being choked and you can't breathe, you also can't talk if you're being choked to a point where you can't breathe. And anyway, the autopsy report confirmed that, even though they put in some line about exacerbated by the chokehold, which there was no chokehold, the autopsy told us that he died from an asthma attack, he had severe asthma. So anyway, if you have asthma, you shouldn't resist arrest. Well, you shouldn't, in that case, you shouldn't resist it. Look, it's unfortunate that he died. He died, here's why Eric Garner died. Because the state decided that they wanted their tax revenue from the selling of cigarettes, and Eric Garner was one of the many people who sold Lucy's on the corner. Okay, and but that was the year that Mario Cuomo and the mayor, the governor, had a statewide task force crack down on the selling of untaxed cigarettes. And right after that, the city of New York began cracking down on the sale of untaxed cigarettes, including ones that were illegally imported and people selling Lucy's on the street. The state caused Eric Garner's death over a couple bucks in the tax coffers. Now, they didn't intend, obviously the reason the officers were acquitted is because they did not kill Eric Garner. And yeah, some of the chat did mention that she already won her case as far as the wrongful death suit, which I don't have opinion one way or another on that. Eric Garner died because of overzealous tax collection policy by the state of New York and the city of New York City. So there you go. Anyway, interesting article. I'll put that in the chat too, if you're curious. And finally, that was the last one that I was going to do today. So there you go. Hey, what a wonderful world we live in. But there's going to be some fireworks today, I'll tell you that, both in the Flynn case, which is happening, and also the debate tonight. Now, I'm not going to stream during the debate. I'm just going to watch it. I don't know if I'll watch it through someone else's stream or whatever, but and who knows what I'm going to do this afternoon. I thought about doing a second stream this afternoon, but we'll see. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, before you do anything, because you know what's happening right now, I'm wrapping it up. But before you click a button, hit the like button before you go. It always helps. And share the stream. Please share the stream. Social media, arrow down there, or the arrow up here, if you're on mobile. Or you can always just retweet my tweet from earlier at PDawgKnight, Twitter, Minds Gap, and Parler. Follow me on social media, particularly Twitter. If you're on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. That's where I do most of my whatever that thing is. And also, donations and super chats. You can do that through the Streamlabs link, which is at PDawgKnight.live, or you can go to in the description down below. It shows up in the chat. Again, all my anything I do this week is going towards a memorial for my father in Nigeria. And if you haven't watched that show, if you want to know my story, if you haven't watched it yet, it just tells you the whole story. It's my natural father that I met. I met him in 2004, and it was quite the experience. And the article we went over the GQ article yesterday. We may do another. I might do another stream where I show the Good Morning America appearance too, but whatever. Anyway, that's where all the anything that comes in super chats goes for this week. So anyway, thanks everybody for commenting. If you're watching on replay, please put a comment in the comment section so that I know you were here. Thanks everybody. I appreciate you. I gotta go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.